A closer look now at the Conservative Party's strategy after falling short of expectations in last month's election. The party's leader, Andrew Scheer, has survived his first leadership test. Joining us with a closer look at that and the 7-hour caucus meeting is Conservative strategist Jason Leader. You're laughing.
That's a full work day.
Yeah, right?
That's a long day.
There is a party leadership review that's coming up in April of this coming year. What does Scheer need to do now to build the confidence? So they could have had a vote. They decided not to.
Yeah.
But what's coming up in April?
Well, our party has a real history of trying to let the membership make these kinds of decisions. So it's not surprising, I think, that he gets to try and make the case to April. So I think here's the thing: there's two parties that didn't meet expectations in this campaign. One is the Liberals. We're going to see what they do. The Conservatives got to improve the message a little bit and got to punch through in the 905 and the 416 here in Ontario. Mm-hmm. And so Mr. Scheer has to show both the membership, the caucus, and sort of everybody watching, Canadians, frankly, that he's sort of learned, improved. Mr. Harper had to do this between 2004 and 2006. He had to sort of revamp his message, his team, his approach, all that kind of stuff. The question the Conservatives are going to be asking themselves is Mr. Scheer the right person to take that message forward? It's usually best to stick with the same leader, but they've got to show that they've improved.
I think what's interesting to voters, Jason, and I know that people like yourselves are sort of inside the bubble, but the conversations happening out during the election
100%.
were exactly what you're saying. People want to win in Ontario. The message isn't breaking through. He's coming across as too conservative or socially conservative. That concerns people. It feels like there's a lot of listening happening now that the results are in. Where was the listening happening, a couple weeks ago?
Well, here's the thing, though. He's only been the leader for 2 years. Mr. Scheer's a good man. I give him a lot of credit for running a decent campaign. Listen, votes were up, seats were up. He made gains in Western Canada and in Eastern Canada. So the thing is, it's hard to win the first time. Some people do it, some people don't. He's asking for a second chance, but you got to show that the mistakes that were made, you've got to improve on them.
All right, former Foreign Affairs Minister John Baird, it's a name a lot of people haven't heard for a while. He's going to lead this post-mortem into the election. So there is a review happening, not of Scheer's leadership, but of the campaign itself, about what went wrong for the Conservatives. So what will they be looking at? Will they be looking at the campaign manager? Controversial choice, somebody who came from Rebel Media.
Yeah, I think you strip it all down, and a party that lies to itself doesn't do itself any good for the next time. And I think between the Liberals and the Conservatives, both had slightly disappointing results. And I think the party that makes the best adjustments is the party that's going to win the next campaign. So you strip it all down: candidate selection, message, leaders tour, advertising, campaign management, the team, all that kind of stuff. If Mr. Baird does his job right, and he will. I know Mr. Baird is thorough. He's a fantastic leader for our party. He's going to do that all. You got to strip it down and then build it back up.
All right, we've seen the Conservative Party in this position before. They had divided views. We've seen them split apart. They lose power. They lose seats. The Reform and the Alliance. Then they come back together, and then they don't win. So what is the best strategy for the party moving forward? They've tried this version a couple of times.
Yeah, hang together or hang apart. Listen, this is the thing for our party is when we're divided, Liberals win. When we're together, we have a chance at winning. And so that's the history of the Conservative movement in the country. And I think that's the fundamental message here is, regardless of what you might think on message or on the leader or any of the criticisms that you might have, the fundamental thing is we stick together and we keep our guns trained on Mr. Trudeau going forward.
There was a lot of talk during this campaign of perhaps shrinking this big tent that they like to brag that they're under, that maybe it's too big and maybe move the stakes more towards the center.
Yeah, well, I thought this was a fair, there wasn't a lot of policy debate in this election campaign. Fundamentally, Mr. Scheer was able to convince everybody outside Ontario that he was the best person or most.
Yeah, but he needed to win in Ontario.
I know, and listen, that's where you got to make an adjustment, right? You have to win in the 905, and I don't think that was a policy debate. I think that was a lot of people saying, well, Trudeau, not as good as he used to be. Mr. Scheer, we're just not quite ready to hand over the keys to you yet. And I think sometimes that takes some time. And I hope that he's able to sort of get across that bar and make some improvements and go to people next time and say, listen, now I can earn your trust.
All right, well, we'll see what the results are of the review when they come out. Jason, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.